Recently, two St. Louis area high school basketball players from the same high school signed with two different Missouri Valley Conference teams. Their high school coach is a Missouri Valley Conference Hall of Famer, but they didn't end up at his former school. So we went to Smet Jesuit High School to get to know Jordan Boyd and Ian Thomas and to see our old friend, Southern Illinois' Kent Williams. Welcome to the Valley Hoops Insider Podcast, part of the Valley Hoops Insider website. I'm Harry Schroeder, and today's podcast found us in West St. Louis County at the home of the DeSmet Spartans. Coach Williams' teams have won 3 straight Metro Catholic Conference titles, including a state championship in 2024. The MCC is arguably the best hoops league in the St. Louis area. Jordan Boyd is heading to Northern Iowa to play for the Panthers, and head coach Ben Jacobson, and Ian Thomas is on his way to Terre Haute, Indiana, to play with the Indiana State Sycamores and head coach Matthew Graves. During our interview, we discussed the recruiting process, why they chose the programs that they're joining, and we quizzed Coach Williams on how he could let those players not end up at SIU. These engaging young men seem to have the right stuff and the talent to be very productive Missouri Valley Conference players. I hope you enjoy our interview with Jordan Boyd, Ian Thomas, and Coach Kent Williams. Kent, first of all, starting 9th year. Yeah. It's crazy. Like, you've been here that long after just a great college career and a great coaching career at the collegiate level. What's it been like, for you?
It's been exciting. Number one is just running my own program. Being an assistant coach for 11 years, learning from the guys that I learned from, and then getting a chance to put it all together and what you want to do. And then going into year 9, I got guys like these guys that can be captains for me, and it's kind of established by now. What we want, the culture, and everything that we're going to practice, what the expectations are. So when I was a college coach, I was only in places 3 years. By the time we started kind of incorporating what we're doing, I was gone off to the next job. So it's nice to be here for longevity and seeing things transition from year after year.
All those years at SIU, you guys had amazing success while you were there. Does he ever tell you, what a great baller he was? Does he ever bring that up?
Every now and then.
Yeah. He was a dude, man. He was a bucket getter. How has that informed your coaching, though? You were such a great offensive player. Of course, at SIU, you guys were a dominant defensive team. How does that affect your coaching here?
Well, I think I was a good college basketball player, good college scorer because of efficiency and paying attention to details. So running the plays the way you need to run them, reading screens. I'm 6'2", I have limited athleticism, so I had to be smart and efficient with what I did. So just kind of taking everybody's skill sets that we have and trying to put them in a spot allows them to be successful. Adjusting based on personnel. This is my 9th year. I've adapted our offense every year by tweaking a little bit based on the players we have and their strengths. I went to a place, I had a good high school coach that did that, allowed me freedom to play. I went to a college, played for Bruce Weber, that kind of did the same thing. So I want these guys to be able to play to their abilities and not really put them in a spot where it kind of holds them back. So, whatever their abilities are, let's put them in a spot and let them try to flourish with that.
He talked about efficiency. When he was in high school, he was jacking up 40-footers and making them his own play. So just don't let him kid you there. Jordan, first of all, you're going to Northern Iowa with Coach Jacobson, who's been there forever, the dean of the college coaches there at the Missouri Valley Conference. What impressed you about Northern Iowa and about Coach Jacobson?
Honestly, whenever I was on campus, whenever we were going around, honestly, he wouldn't really showboat about himself. He kind of just you kind of hear from everybody else. So going throughout the campus, I feel like him himself, just talking to him, he was never the type of person to just tell about all his legacy, tell everything he's accomplished. He kind of just let everything show for itself, and I kind of like that about him. Obviously, being on campus, I felt like I could see myself there. I felt good around the guys, the coaches, so I felt like it was just a whole bundle for sure.
They got 1 million guys back this year.
Yeah.
They're going to be really good this year.
Yeah.
They've got, I think, 11 or 12 guys back. Ian, I asked you before we got started, but you're going to Indiana State, and I'm a big fan of Matthew Graves. Tell me what impressed you about Indiana State.
Yeah, I would definitely say the culture. When I was on campus, I could just feel it throughout the practices. Just walking through campus, I could feel the culture. Everybody was super driven. They worked so hard, and I think that's the place I want to be. A culture I want to join.
Probably at least one of the top 2 arenas in the league.
Yeah, sir. I love it. I love it. Yes, sir.
It's a great place. Try to describe Jordan's game for us.
Yeah.
Wait, before you answer that.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to Northern Iowa. He's going to Indiana State. Nobody going to SIU. How is that possible?
Well, 2 things. Number one, it shows that it's about these guys. It's their decision and trying to do what's best for these guys and their future. Not being a fan in this. And second, it's relationships. Even though I played at SIU, I've got great relationships with other coaches throughout the league. Obviously, you talk about Coach Jacobson being in the league for so long. I coached at Missouri State for 3 years, so I was, going on the road and meeting, seeing all these guys and sitting at games, watching them. So I know most of the guys on Northern Iowa's coaching staff. I've known Matthew Grace for over 20 years. At Indiana State. When I was at Tennessee as a coach, he was at Butler as assistant coach. We were on the road recruiting the same guys all the time. So it's a relationship-based decision when it comes to all that. And I've told them, hey, you've got good guys recruiting you. You're in good hands. If those are the decisions you're making, you guys are going to go play for good people, and that's what's important.
And then you got a Vianney guy going to SIU. I can't make this math work. Tell us about Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan's got a great all-around game. He can play so many different positions. He can really score the basketball from, I call it 4 levels, when you can hit threes, mid-range, get to the rim, and he can also get to the free throw line. So when one part of his game is not working, he can score in other ways. But probably the biggest thing is he's a competitor, and even when his shot's not on or his offensive game's not there, he brings a lot to the table. So some guys you see, hey, they're not scoring the basketball tonight. He's having an off night. He doesn't bring much else. He's going to dive on the floor, rebound, take charges. Not afraid to guard the other team's best guy. So it just brings just so many different things to the table. That's makes you a winner.
State championship 2 years ago. Talk to me about that. How exciting was that 2 years ago to win the state championship?
Man, it was a ride. It was definitely a ride. I wouldn't give it up for the world. I love my guys. I love my team. It was one of the best experiences we could have asked for.
Jordan?
For me personally, it was my first year at Smet, so it made it a lot better. A lot better. I feel like it definitely wasn't easy. Every day in practice we were working hard, but it all paid off at the end of the year. We got what we wanted and we made it happen. Hopefully this year we can go back and make it happen again.
3 straight league championships and what I think is the toughest basketball conference in the St. Louis area. You guys are building something here that's, it's wild, how good the Smet basketball is. Can you talk about that a little bit?
I feel like it starts with us. I feel like we're kind of just starting a tradition that, obviously not a tradition, just getting back to what it's been at. We put in the work, and I feel like that kind of makes other people want to be part of this tradition. I feel like we have a lot of younger guys, so just keeping on going out every night, giving it our all. Hopefully we can inspire younger kids to join the program as well.
Yeah, 3 straight. Who's the toughest team? Obviously you guys tied with Chaminade last year. They're really good, but it's a really tough league, isn't it?
Yes, sir. It is, sir.
Tell me about Ian's game, Coach.
Yeah. Well, Ian's a point guard, having the ball in his hands that he makes other people better. He sees the floor. He could go score a lot more than he does at times, but he knows to get other guys involved and just having a good overall vision. And it's not always just about getting assists, but it's about that ball moving, kicking it ahead, and just having a feel. But man, when he gets his shoulders by you and gets going downhill, he's a strong finisher. I know it's what Coach Graves really likes about him. Graves talks about they call A, B, C, D shots. So A is getting to the rim, and B is kind of that floater. C is a mid-range, and D's are threes. And he gets a lot of A shots. He's getting all the way to that rim, and he's hard to stop. So a guy that can get paint touches, get in the lane, especially at that next level, you're dropping it off or he's finishing, but anybody that gets in that paint is just putting pressure on the defense. So he's got good size as a point guard too.
Yeah, no kidding. Why number 23?
Honestly, I don't know. It doesn't really have a significance for me, but it's grown on me, and we've been able to accomplish some pretty great things in the number 3s or 23s. So I've just stuck with it.
Yeah, back in the day, the best player on every team wore 23. That's why I was asking. Why number 4?
Actually, I wanted number 3, but that jersey here is smaller, so I went to number 4. But I mean, I feel like it was the closest number 2 that I could wear, and I wore number 3 almost my whole life, just growing up in AAU and stuff.
Where do you guys play, both of you? Where do you play AAU ball or Ival or whatever you play?
Mid-Pro South.
Yes, sir.
You guys both play the same team?
Yes, sir. We play for
Perfect. Tell me about him. Like, how does he help you guys improve and grow as men and as players? Because I know here at the Smet, it's a real big deal about the brotherhood and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Coach Kent always pushes us, like whether it's in the classroom, on the court, or just in everyday life. He really helps us become great men, which is what I respect. Some coaches would just make it about basketball, but Coach Kent pushes us just in life.
How about you, Jordan?
Yeah, I feel kind of the same. I feel like he really just pushes us to a high standard. He expects high of us because he knows we can get it done. And then on and off the court, he expects us to be good kids. Since I came here, I feel, talking to him, I feel like I've grown a lot closer to him. And just being closer on that side is just good for the basketball side, but also just being able to talk to somebody as like a figure in your life. I feel like he's really been there for me in all ways in life.
Awesome. You're sending 2 guys to the Missouri Valley Conference, and that's where you play. Talk about that league and why that maybe fits for these guys.
Yeah, well, it's obviously a special league to me as a player, and I coached in it as well. So when I pull up my phone and I check scores, I always go to Missouri Valley Conference first. It's just what I do, you know. So I think it's been, it's such a great league that there's been so many teams in the league that have gone on and made an impact in the NCAA tournament. I had a team that went to the Sweet 16. You look at Missouri Valley teams that make the tournament, and they're always a first round tough. That's a hard opponent to play, and a lot of times getting to the second round, sometimes third round. We even had Final Four in there, I believe, at Wichita State, who used to be in the league. So it's such a balanced league. It's not top heavy. It's not the same teams every year. It changes, and every game going on the road's tough. And it's kind of like, to me, it's like a mini Big Ten a little bit. I was in the Big Ten, everywhere you'd go was a good fan base. Hard to win on the road. Same thing, Missouri Valley. Like, you got to go get those road games, and they're not easy because everybody's got a good fan base. Everybody seems to play well at home, and it's just a tough league. And it's traditionally had a lot of older players, because you're not having guys leave early for the draft or anything like that. So you've got some juniors and seniors that are really good. And when you have a group of like 4 or 5 of those guys that are juniors and seniors, it's a really tough team.
What was recruiting like in terms of not just with Northern Iowa, but people calling you? What was the recruiting process like for you, Jordan?
I feel like it started to really pick up last year around this time. It just started off with just probably a phone call every now and then from the coaches, and then kind of it picked up. I feel like I got a lot of phone calls from Northern Iowa, which is kind of why I chose there. But every now and then I'd get some messages, but I feel like it mostly picked up when school ball started up my junior year, and then going into my summer ball with AAU. I feel like I had a lot of coaches on my phone, but still only just a few offers, and then it kind of just really clicked this June during summer is whenever everything picked up and offers started kind of flowing in for me.
Kent, you talked about the Valley. Listen, we don't call Northern Iowa Jake and the Giant Killers for no reason. I mean, they've knocked off so many number 1 teams and nationally ranked teams. How about for you in the recruiting process? What was that like?
Yeah, I would say coming off of our state championship is really when it started for me. And
people like winners, don't they?
Yes, sir. Yeah, in that June, I got some interest and some offers, and then I would say throughout the season, or right before the season, it picked up a lot for me, and then this summer is when I found my home. Yes, sir.
Who's the toughest, maybe best player you've played against in high school, or maybe with your AAU team? Either one of you.
That's a hard one.
Yeah, that
What do
is
you
kind of
think?
a hard one. I feel like I've played a lot of guys. I feel like it's kind of going to be hard to pick kind of just one, but I feel like recently, just from school ball in general, I feel like one of the better guys we play with is Jahadi White or J-Mo White from
I wondered about those two,
Eastside
yeah.
now. But I feel like kind of overall, just throughout the years, I don't know if I could tell you that just one player now.
So didn't Walsh get 50 on you guys last year?
Oh.
I mean, you're just not even going to mention his name.
Yeah.
We beat him 6 times in a row.
That's funny. How about you? Anybody different than what he mentioned?
Yeah, I would say Luke's teammate Eddie. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but
Nobody does.
yeah, I would say Eddie. He was a tough competitor.
And he's like in Columbia now, I think.
Yes, sir. Yeah, he always brought it. So
When you think about, is there a player that you watch in the NBA, you think, I'm kind of like him, meaning like your game kind of mimics his? Don't worry, Jordan, I'm coming to you too. You kind of got the hair like Titan Anderson, who just left Northern Iowa.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anyone that I would say right now, but I'm striving to be like some players. Like I want to expand my game. Like I would say Chris Paul kind of did. He expanded his game once he got to the league. In college he expanded his game a lot. But I would say like a Chris Paul or someone like that. I'm just a little bit bigger.
That's a great answer. Yeah. How about you, Charm?
I feel like recently I've been kind of watching more of like a Devin Booker, just trying to get and pick my spots right, being able to get to the mid-range. I feel like recently that's kind of how I've been playing. So if right now I'd say my comparison, I'd say that.
Have you watched much Northern Iowa basketball? What I mean is, have you been able to watch and go, oh, they kind of play like this? Have you looked at them at all?
I haven't paid too much attention to it yet. Honestly, whenever I went, I saw some film, just kind of how their play style and stuff. But before like being recruited, I didn't watch too much. No, sir.
Same question. You know a lot about the way they play?
Yes, sir. I like the way they play. It's super fun, fast, and free.
Yep.
They just play the game the right way, and I love it. Yeah.
It's a lot of reacting. Like
Yeah,
if
it's-
I do this, then I've got these 3 or 4 options, and I can creatively figure it out.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, I really love their offense as well. You're a big assist guy. You score, and you're a big rebounder. I mean, you rebound as well. But talk about that part of your game. That's a lot of work. That's the want to, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like growing up, that's kind of just what I always did. Playing with my coach, Brandon Hogg, I wasn't really too much of a scorer growing up. I kind of just did more of the little things so I can actually get on the court. And I feel like that kind of just always translated.
Jake is going to love you.
Yes, sir.
I'm just hearing this. I'm like, oh, he's going to love this.
Yeah, I feel like it kind of just like translated, and then keeping that with your game, honestly, it's not going to do anything but help you, so you might as well just do the little things.
Wow, that's amazing. Kent, when you think about where they're going, like you know Jake a little bit, you know Matt, you know pretty well, like proud papa kind of like, I'm sending him off to a good place.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I talk to these guys a lot during the recruiting process, and when certain coaches were reaching out, I'm like, you're going to love this guy. You'll love Jordan for this. You'll love Ian for this part of it. And they are going to the places the right fit. And I feel really good about those guys going in and having a chance to contribute right away. I mean, a lot of it depends on who's in front of them, things like that. But we talk a lot here about being a superstar utility player when you're younger.
Mm-hmm.
Means you're still scoring, you're still doing things, but yeah, you might be asked to do a few other things. But I want you to learn all those things, because when you go to college, there's no such thing as, well, I'm just the scorer. No, you better be able to do it all. And kind of both these guys, like talking about Ian getting the ball to other people, like he's unselfish with that, and Jordan, who's going to dive on the floor, and when the ball's out there, a 50-50 ball, he's going to get it. So just taking ownership of those things that has nothing to do with scoring points or all the the accolades that everybody talks about. So those guys are superstar utility players. They're going to step right in at the college level and maybe play a role early on before they maybe develop into something else.
Yeah, Brian Wardle at Bradley tells his guys, I want you to be an all-conference player in whatever your role happens to be. You're the 9th guy or the 2nd guy.
Yep.
Be an all-conference guy. At that spot. Studying. What are you going to study at school, Ian?
Right now, I'm leaning towards like a finance major. I really want to test the waters, and if it's not for me, it's not for me. But I think it will be.
How about you, Jordan?
Yeah, I haven't fully decided, but I'm thinking like a business or like an electrical engineering.
Electrical engineering.
Yeah.
That was a left turn for me.
Yeah.
Those are beyond me, bro. I'm not going. I wasn't ever going to go that direction. Appreciate that about you guys. When you look at recruiting sites or those kinds of things, and they say, "Oh, you're a 3-star, you're a 3-star, you're ranked this many in this state," you guys pay attention to that stuff?
No, sir.
No.
No, we just
I
want to
definitely
win.
would have. If I was any good, I would have looked.
Yeah, I don't really pay attention to stuff like that. I feel like growing up, I was never really on any, so it doesn't really matter to me. Now, I know, honestly, none of those things really matter. There's a lot of guys that aren't ranked that are amazing players, so it's not really anything I need to be looking at.
So before I let you go, talk to me about your senior year at the Smet. Talk to me about your team, what you think you've got coming back, what you think your goals and opportunities are.
I'll go first. Yeah. I love where we're at right now. We have a lot of seniors. We have a lot of underclassmen that are just ready to start in the role, like Coach was saying. Some big plans for the future. I think we get it done.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking the same thing. We have a lot of guys returning, a lot of guys with experience, and we also have a lot of younger guys that don't have as much experience but are hungry to get on the court and are hungry to play. So I feel like that's going to be a big piece into it. I think we have a great chance at going back and battling for state this year. I feel like we come out strong. I feel like there's not going to be a lot that can stop us.
You know, you're not a public school where you're only drawing from this neighborhood, right? And so you've got guys coming from lots of different places, but in some ways you don't know what's coming over the course of time. And yet these last 7 of the 8 years, you've been able to be like a dominant program. Like, just talk about the building ingredients or recipe to making that work.
Well, a couple of things is just trying to figure out how we can gel fast, and doing a lot of work in June, right when we're allowed to. So seeing what we have and then thinking about how it all works together, and then when we come together in the fall, start doing workouts and start really trying to implement our stuff as soon as we're allowed to, and getting guys to buy into it. You know, I think a lot of it we got talent, but a lot of it has to do with chemistry and culture and guys just kind of buying into each other, playing for each other. I mean, we had guys the last few years that could have averaged 20 points a game if they were, on a normal team or the only guy on the team. But we had, 5 options, so it was a very balanced attack. So getting everybody to just accept that role and know that's what's going to make us great and we're going to win games. People will know who you are if you're winning games. You want to be recruited. You want to be known as a winner here when you leave. These are the things you got to buy into. But also just having guys that we don't take shortcuts. A lot of guys come in here as freshmen and they gotta earn their spot. You got to work your way up. That's why I was talking about superstar utility players. So, build your way up and we've got good leadership from older upperclassmen as the younger guys come up, and it just keeps passing down from class to class. And I think that's when there's teams and then there's programs, and I think we've kind of created a program now where it's doing that, and it's drawing interest of kids who want to play the right way and be a part of what we're trying to do here.
Coach Calipari, when he was in Kentucky, I think Anthony Davis averaged about 8 points a game, and Karl Anthony Towns came off the bench, or vice versa. And then they're first round picks, right? Because they're playing a certain way. They didn't have to be that guy.
Yeah, and college coaches notice that. Mm-hmm. They come in, and somebody that's being able to do something other than just have the ball in their hands the whole time, that's going to make them an attractive piece for college, and they step right in. Like I said, these guys might be able to play right away because they can do other things other than just shoot and score. And we try to run this like a college program. We hit the weight room, we do conditioning, we do scouting reports as detailed as we did when I was a college coach, and so try to make sure these guys are prepared in all aspects when they get there.
So my friend Adam Donia at Link Year Academy, he keeps stealing players out of St. Louis and taking them down to Link. That's a whole new phenomenon, isn't it? Players like leaving and going to these prep schools.
Yeah, it's happening a little bit more and more now, but I think, again, that's where we talked about getting the right guys that want to be here for this and what our school's all about, what our program's about, and enjoying high school, and don't look to the next step. That's going to happen.
Sure.
But I tell these guys a lot, like, man, Coach Naki is one of our assistant coaches. We were best friends in high school, and we played our old high school games together. So as great as college was and trying to be a pro and all that, there's nothing better than high school, playing in front of your community and your classmates, and they're all up there in the stands cheering.
compare that to being in an empty gym at some places. Like our Friday nights are pretty cool. So just being a part of that and taking it all in, and not getting kind of sold by the hype of going somewhere else to an academy. You're getting recruited here. You're getting seen here, and we're playing good teams. I mean, we're playing 8 out-of-state games this year. We're going to play, I don't know how many different Division I signees or commitment guys this year, but we're going to try to play the best schedule we can play to prepare us for March and to prepare these guys for what's beyond high school. So
The old St. Louis shootout that you start at, those events aren't in St. Louis anymore, but there's a lot of those kind of events nowadays.
Yeah, there's a lot more of them, and you get a combination of them wanting really good teams there, or teams that have really high prospects, highly ranked prospects. So we are going to a couple of them this year, and those are fun to play in, and like I said, just fun to go get challenged and see what's out there and see where we stand.
Devin Booker, Chris Paul, we appreciate your time today. Thanks for watching the Valley Hoops Insider Podcast. If you liked the show today, please hit that like button. And if you so choose, you could subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. We conduct tons of interviews of Missouri Valley and Ohio Valley Conference coaches, players, media members. We'll be in Evansville for the OVC Media Day here in a couple of weeks. And then the Missouri Valley Conference, their Media Day is a virtual one. We'll be all over that, producing tons of content from both of those media opportunities in the month of October. As always, thanks for watching. And remember, since you've been there, make it a better place. We'll see you again real soon.